Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Tara Arnold, and tonight I'm gonna be consciously channeling St.Germain, not trance channeling because there's a hurricane headed our way. We're on the east coast of Nova Scotia in Canada and on the Atlantic Ocean, and it's the energies are really heavy. So I'm going to just consciously ask him questions, and some viewers had some questions that they wrote in the comment section, so I'll be answering a couple of those. The first one is one that was posted today, and they were asking, how do I know if I'm a light worker or starseed? And Saint Germain saying, well, everyone's a light worker and everyone's a starseed. It's just how consciously aware that you are of being connected to everything. So the first wave of light workers, he shows me in like 3 waves. There's a first wave, second wave, and third wave. So the first wave of people, when you were born, you had an awareness that, you know, you might have felt different, you knew your connection to source or the universe or God or whatever terminology you use, but you knew your connection to source energy. That would be the first wave light workers. Second wave, when they were born, they weren't consciously aware of that. So they were deeper into the egoic consciousness. So they had their human body on and they had their human costume and they were playing the egoic game, and they were just a little bit deeper into the egoic game, not so consciously expanded. So they weren't aware that they were connected to everything. And third wave is still asleep. They're still deep into the ego. So second wave is beginning to awaken, but technically we're all light workers. It's just how consciously aware of it you are. So all of us are bringing in frequencies onto the planet to expand consciousness, and we're all connected energetically. So there's not one better than another. There's not one, it's everything, but it's just different in the way that there's nothing you have to do, is what Saint Germain saying, that the person that asked this question, there was nothing that you have to do as a light worker. You're already anchoring the frequencies that your spirit chose to have in their blueprint or timeline in like at this time on planet Earth. So there's nothing that you have to do. He's saying that you're putting some pressure on yourself to have to do something specific, and he wants you to know that just being is enough. So if you be and play and be in the now moment, that's enough. So the light frequencies that you brought onto the planet to expand consciousness, to offer that frequency of love to the planet, you're already doing it. All you have to do is ground, pull your consciousness in so you're fully integrated into your human body, and expand it out, and that light goes out to everyone around you. So everyone's bringing in different frequencies to help expand consciousness at that time, this time. But technically, yes, we're all light workers, so you don't have to question that. Just go play. Where does your spirit want to play? The more you can get into joy, the more expanded your consciousness is going to be, and the more light you're going to anchor onto the planet, which means you're going to transmute more fear back to love. So if you can just work with your inner child and find out where your inner child wants to play, that's the best thing, and that's how you can help humanity the most, is you know, being in the now moment, connecting with your inner child, bringing your inner child joy. When you're in that vibration of joy, you naturally have more love and compassion, and that love and compassion goes out to all the universe. So when you're taking care of you and you're loving you, and you're putting your your spirit or your consciousness first, then your spirit says, oh, you love me, and it expands out further, and then you anchor even more light. You do more for humanity, saying prayers or sending out intentions, like good intentions is enough. Like every time you have an intention of love that goes out to the universe, of compassion, and some people would call it prayers, or putting out positive affirmations, whatever it is, that goes out to the universe. So it's all your intention, and you can't get it wrong. So just be in the now, play with your inner child, expand your consciousness of joy that way, and whatever you're supposed to do here as a light worker will just fall into place. you're already enough. He says like not to question, can I do more? Is there like you're more than enough at all times. Like what you're doing right now is enough because it's what you're doing. So if, you know, you're having a bad day and you're saying, well, you know, today I didn't, you know, go out and help enough people, or I didn't, you know, you're beating yourself up. Well, then you're making yourself small, and it's not expansion of consciousness, because you're self-sabotaging, and then you're conscious, like you're just shrinking your energy. But if you say, okay, I'm doing the best that I can at all times, that's going to keep your vibration up, whether it's like you're having a bad day, or you don't feel you're doing enough, or you're just laying in bed for a few days. Just keep a positive aspect on it, and don't judge yourself. It's the self-blame and self-judgment that kind of brings us back to that low vibration. So where can I play? That's why I wake up in the morning, I ask my inner child, where do you want to play today? And then I go from there, and that's enough. So he's saying to just take some pressure off yourself. You're doing enough. Yeah, you're more than enough, he says. Okay, so the next question, somebody asked, when I watch your videos, like when St.Germain and the Ascended Masters, they bring through frequencies of transmutation. They transmute fear back to love during the videos, like when I'm in trance. And it transmutes fear back to love in different chakras. If you watch it a second time, you're going to integrate the next layer of frequencies, but it's always up to you. It's not how they bring through the frequencies, it's how you receive it. So you're always in charge. And if you go to watch a video and like say at the beginning of the video, I say, well, they're going to bring through frequencies for the heart chakra to transmute fear back to love. If you don't want to receive it, you just put the intention, I don't want to receive any frequencies of transmutation, and you won't receive it. You're always in charge. It's done on a spiritual level as well, but if you consciously say, I don't want to receive it, you won't receive it. Your spiritual body knows what it's doing, and it will never allow you to be harmed. So it's never going to bring through frequencies that would be too much, or, you know, your body knows what it's doing. Like it's not going to receive what it can't handle. So if you're gonna be open to receiving, you can put that intention when you go to watch the videos. Yes, I'm open to receiving any frequencies of transmutation from fear back to love from St.Germain or the Ascended Masters. Then your body will receive whatever frequencies it's ready for. So the next time you watch the same video, you'll receive the next layer. But if you don't want to, you just say, I don't want to receive anything. I'm just going to watch the video and listen to the message. The spirit guides don't get upset about that. It's always up to you. It's your choice. And again, you'll never receive anything that you're not ready to. Some people, when they receive the frequencies, they'll feel ascension symptoms. So you'll feel ascension symptoms in those chakras because it's transmuting fear back to love, like fears from past lifetimes, deep old pains that we have. You don't need to know necessarily what it is. Like all time doesn't exist, so all the past lifetimes are happening now, but it's going to the root of the problem and transmuting it, and then bringing it into this now timeline to consciously expand. But yeah, again, it's always up to you on what you wish to receive. You're always in charge with everything in your reality. So whatever you don't want in your reality, command, I don't want that in my reality. I don't wish to, receive that or feel that. So another example is if you went into a mall and you normally are very sensitive to everyone's energy, you don't have to be. You can say, I command that I don't want to see how everyone's feeling. I don't want to be intuitive or empathically receiving messages at this time. So I command that I won't allow that in my reality. I don't want to see how anybody's feeling right now. So when you say the word I command, you evoke the God within you or consciousness within you to like you evoke it to create that reality. So I command that I don't want to feel anybody's energy in the mall today. I'm going to ground, not feel anybody's energy, and I'm going to do my shopping. Before, people would be like, put a bubble of protection around you, but a bubble of protection is fear-based. It's like, oh, I need to protect myself from everything, and St.Germain saying, well, you are everything. What do you need to protect yourself from? If you pull your consciousness in and expand it out and command what you're allowing, then there's no fear associated with it. So just say what you're allowing, and when you leave the mall, disconnect from everybody's energy and say that you don't want to feel anybody's energy. A lot of you are becoming more and more sensitive, and he's saying he wants to add, this isn't one of the questions, but he just wants to add that there's a few people watching this that are going to be awakening and realizing that everyone's egoic consciousness is coming in layers of truth. So you're seeing the layers of the egoic consciousness, and some of you are seeing many layers at once. You're going to be seeing everyone from where they're vibrating at in the egoic consciousness, but not to judge it, because he's saying that some of you are seeing it within yourselves and you're judging that as something wrong. But every person in your reality is only in the egoic game. So it can only be the lies of the ego instead of the truth of the heart. So you're seeing the truth of the ego, but not to judge that. So as you consciously expand and you consciously awaken, you're going to see everyone's truth from their egoic perspective. And so every single thing and everyone around you, you're going to see it as the lies of the ego, but they're like in layers. And he's saying that it's going to come, like some people are going to be overwhelmed with seeing that truth of the ego. I say the truth of the ego, it's the lies of the ego is their truth because they're in the egoic game, but all of us are in the egoic game. So we can only play the game of the ego when we're in that game. So as you consciously awaken to a different game, the game of the heart, you're going to see everyone's lies of the ego or truth of the ego, whichever way you want to look at it. And it's going to be a little bit overwhelming for some people. He says, just make sure you're not judging it. It's not personal. So you're going to see things about people that you hadn't been aware of before, and he's saying it's going to be like, oh my God, that hurts my feelings. But remember, it's only a game. It's now that you're consciously aware of the game that you're seeing it, and not to take it personally, and you're going to see it within yourself as well. But after, it's going to be uncomfortable for a while, but then once you stop judging whether it's right or wrong, good or bad, once you stop judging the egoic game, it's not going to be as difficult. So right now he's saying that what he's talking about is all the people that are triggering you, it's going to get even louder, but it's not that their ego is becoming more loud. It's because you're becoming more consciously aware. And as you become more consciously aware, you're seeing more of the truth of the egoic game, which is basically you're seeing everyone's lies. So not to take it personally, you're going to see it within yourself as well. And there's a few people that might not know what I'm talking about, but there's other people that this will resonate with. But eventually you'll be able to see all the layers of the egoic game. Okay, so I'm going to go on to the next question. Okay, somebody asked, like, why is my country so poor or struggling or has more like natural disasters? He's showing me right now like a globe of the planet Earth. And he's showing me different countries have deeper, dense belief systems. So if you're country has, or your area that you live in has a lot of fear-based energy, like maybe prejudice or wars or pain, suffering, a lot of control from the government systems. It's like deeper, older belief systems in that area haven't been transmuted back to love yet. So he's saying again that you consciously choose, or you choose before you come to the planet where you're going to, like you put it in your timeline or in your blueprint of where you want to experience your reality on planet Earth. And you choose for your highest good, for conscious expansion of where you want to live. So if you've chosen a country where you're deeper into the egoic game, where there's a lot of war or hate or anger, you're really deep in those fear-based old control, prejudice, like all that energy, it's because your spirit wanted to experience that for a deeper conscious expansion. So he's showing me like that on the planet, each country has different belief systems depending on the nationality and how old the country is, like how far back the history goes, and it will carry those frequencies until each generation that comes in, each generation born, transmutes a little bit more back to love and consciously expands. So if you're in one of those places that are really deep, heavy into the ego, it's because it hasn't been transmuted back to love or consciously expanded in that area. Now, the natural disasters are Mother Earth has to shake off that energy, so maybe she'll create more like tornadoes in that area, or fires, or something to burn off that energy, or to transmute it or expel it, or you know, Mother Earth knows what she's doing. So also when you're in like choosing that game to have that game to go into a deeper, you know, conscious expansion, he's showing me that in simpler terms. So he's going to give me an example here. So he's saying that when you are all that is, when you are, you know, you're the universe, you're consciousness, you know you're all that is, you're all energy. You already know what it is to be fully awake. You already know what the end of the game is. So here we're on planet Earth and we're like, okay, the game is to go deep into the ego, and can I find my way back to that conscious love? Well, you already know what the end of the game is. So it's like, that's why he keeps saying, well, enjoy the journey, because our spirit already knows what it's like to be consciously awake, right? So we've already been there. So it's like we came to planet Earth and we created this planet to experience the polarity of what we are. So when you put on your human costume, you go into the ego, you forget who you are as consciousness. And so the game is, can I find my way out? There is no end. You already know what the end is. So that's why it's, you know, the spirit has so much fun doing these, having all these experiences on planet Earth. But he's showing me an example, and it's like, if you're in grade 1 and somebody pushes you on the playground, then, and your feelings get hurt, then you know that frequency of pain, you can see the polarity of that in consciousness. So now you've learned the polarity of that in love. So how deep you choose your pain to be on planet Earth, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, you've chosen your game for conscious expansion. So once you go to the depths of the pain and heal from it, then you now know that polarity of that in love. And that's how you learn compassion. And that compassion goes out to all the universe. That's how they show me. So it's like, if you know, somebody pushes you in grade 1, that hurts your feelings, you physically get hurt, you emotionally get hurt. And when you heal from that, now you know the polarity of that in love. And then maybe in grade 2, you have a crush on a little boy and he breaks your heart, and now you know that pain, and once you heal from that or transmute that, now you know the polarity of that in love, and you learn compassion from that, and that compassion goes out. So you're not going to hurt somebody that hurt you because you just experienced it and it didn't feel good. So the deeper the game goes, so if you choose even a deeper experience where maybe you lose a parent, or have some kind of a deep grief, a pet dies or something, then you've gone even deeper into that pain. And as you heal and transmute that back to love, you now know the polarity of that in love and learn that compassion. So it's just, it's knowing that whatever game you chose here on planet Earth, wherever you chose to be born, it's for your highest good, for conscious expansion, and that it wasn't a mistake. Like, your spirit chose that country to be born in for what it could learn, or for its highest good, for conscious expansion. So maybe you've had a lot of lifetimes on the planet and you wanted to go into a deeper frequency of fear-based energy, and picking that country to be born in would take you to that frequency, so that you could learn the polarity of it. So for conscious expansion. So it goes deeper than that, but he's just given it to me in like simpler explanation. I think that was about it for all the questions. I just want to say thanks for, oh, he's saying there's one more. He just wanted to talk about, he's saying some people are asking, that are watching this channel, how do I know if St.Germain's connecting with me? And he says that he wants you to stop questioning your knowing. If you're drawn to the channel and you're understanding and resonating with the messages, it means that he's already working with you. If he says a lot of you are seeing, like, when you shut your eyes, you're seeing a violet flame in your third eye, or the violet color. That's him. That's his energy, and he's already working with you. So ask to see more. And he says, trust your knowing. He says, I'm not going to come in, you're not going to hear me in your ears. I'm going to come in as thoughts. And you're going to be able to see the separation of like egoic thoughts and thoughts from St.Germain, and maybe your inner child's thoughts. Like, you're going to see a frequency difference, or feel a frequency difference of your knowing. Like, if eventually you're going to be able to see, like, if somebody walks by and their ego is saying something, you'll be able to say, oh, I'm channeling their ego. I can tell that, you know. Or if you have St.Germain come in, you'll say, oh, I'm channeling St.Germain. Or if it's your inner child, you'll be able to tell the difference between the frequencies. If there's fear in it, it's going to be egoic consciousness based. So if you're questioning, oh, was that just a message I received from St.Germain? Well, was it based in love? Did you just call him in? Did you ask him something? So if you just called him in, you asked him something, and you're trusting your knowing, then that's him. That's your answer. He wants you to continue trusting your knowing. He says, don't question it. Just trust your knowing. If you have a heart-centered intention, it's from love and compassion. Then it's coming from the heart consciousness. And he says, I resonate with the heart consciousness. And if that's where you're at, you are channeling him, or you're receiving messages from him, he doesn't want you to second guess it. Just go with your knowing, and then he'll show you more. So just keep asking, okay, I know with, you know, I just received a message from St.Germain. Show me more, and then he'll show you more. Maybe he'll show you in an animal totem, or maybe you'll feel something or see something in your third eye, or maybe you'll taste something or smell something. He'll give you another sign of a message that he is working with you. The more you trust it, the more messages you'll receive from him. So just keep trusting your knowing. He is working with everyone that's watching this. There's not one person. St.Germain's energy is all over the planet right now, and he's wanting to work with many people. So if you're heart-centered, just reach out to him and just trust your knowing that he is working with you. And if you don't wish to work with him, there are many other spirit guides that match that frequency of love, or you can channel just universal knowing. You don't have to put an identity to it. So we choose our spirit guides like we choose our friends on planet Earth. So who do you want to play with? If you want spirit friends, then channel them. And if you want not to have any friends, you can channel universal energy. As long as it's coming from a heart-centered place, then it's a heart-centered message. So just trust your knowing and have fun with it. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.